Hello City. Hello World. And welcome to another installation of the Gospel Jazz Connection. You know this is D-Nice here, and I've got some great folks in the studio today. I was even able to wrangle our medical professional, Dr. Randall Maxey, and he brought a good friend in with him. We're just going to let him introduce him later on because we got a treat for you. We got our girls in the studio, the ladies with the mostest. That's what we call this, music and conversation. We got Miss M and Miss Keita in the house. So, you know what? We're going to sit back and we're going to just enjoy ourselves today because this is the Gospel Jazz Connection where you can sit back, relax, and watch with your ears. Here's a good one for you. This is from Makita called The Return. It's KTYM D-Nice with the best in the music and sound for you. Take a listen. Makita, The Return.
Let me tell you testimony about all the things I used to do and how the Lord brought me through. See, too far away. Kept hearing a voice from heaven say, return to me. I'll return to you if you change your way. I'll take control if you let go. Just let go. So change your way. Come on and change your way. Change your way. Come on, change your way. Change your way. In the spirit I can see. Now I'm walking in destiny. My mind and soul are free. The same voice is calling you. So tell me, what are you gonna do? Well, can't you hear the spirit coming through? Hey, calling out to you. Oh, just say, Lord, what is it that you want me to do? Take my hand and I'll show you. You didn't stray too far away. That voice from heaven just keeps saying, I'll return to you if you change your way. He'll take control. Come if you just let go. So change your way. Come on and change your way. Ooh, change your way. It really ain't hard to do. He's right there waiting on you. So change your way. Oh, hey. Oh, just return to me. Oh, yeah. Return to you if you change your way. Take control. Come on, let go. Oh, change your way. Come on and change. Just turn around now. Come on and change your way. Come on, change.
Well. Woo, I hope you guys like that. That was Makita. Change. Makita, go ahead and give us a little history behind that song there, because it just blessed us. Go ahead, talk to us.
Oh, wow. That song came when I went to Africa. Believe it or not, I was jesting. I was playing around with Eric Benet and my friends and saying, I'm going to find me a rock and the ancestors is going to speak. And they were laughing all the way to Africa. It was like a 23-hour flight. And everyone was laughing at me. But when I tell you, that's exactly what I experienced. And it wasn't like it was a whole bunch of folks that came to me. I literally just went outside and asked the Most High to deal with me on the inside, fix me, the things that our ancestors that wanted to return back here. Help me have that exchange. What is it that I can bring back for them? Because they wanted to come back. All of them, that lineage that's on the inside of me. May I pour out here, but pour into me what they had that I need.
Right.
To get rid of the insecurity about my dark brown skin.
Uh-oh, go ahead.
And my big eyes and my lips and my hips. Help me understand that was something phenomenal and not disgraceful.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and he dealt with me. And that's really what that was all about. It was about returning to the Most High. And because I think I shared with you in one segment where I literally heard the Spirit tell me I was a liar, where I would tell God how awesome and wonderful He was. And that's what He said. You tell me how wonderful I am, but you look in the mirror and you say that's not good enough.
Wow.
That's not worthy.
Right.
That's not beautiful.
Right.
How can you say that? And I fearfully structured you. I wonderfully structured you in my image. But you just told me that wasn't good enough.
Right.
Ooh-wee.
Yeah, and we got 3 guys in the studio right now, and we're going to get to talk to them in a couple seconds. But I'm going to tell you, the devil's a lie. The devil's a lie. God is good. He structured this female specimen, and my other one here to my right, Miss M, that's going to be on there. Yes, our sisters, man, are really on point. And we, as the brothers, we're going to just start talking into our young men and help them to appreciate what God has done for us as the men that have to run our community.
Yes.
And bring these young people into the awareness that, as young ladies, you don't have to take no mess from these young boys. And young boys, look, these are your mothers. These are your sisters. You just can't disrespect them and think it's going to be all good by the OGs. Because one of us sooner or later going to snatch you up and give you the straight and narrow on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So don't make us go there. Just appreciate. Because like I was telling the other week, something happened to my daughter with somebody crazy. Oh, it's on and cracking.
Right.
So let's get real. So that's what we do. So today, I'm just trying to stay healthy. We talking earlier about I had a little bout with some health issues, and I had a young man that God puts you in communication with people. He works through people.
Yes, he does.
That love him, that praise him, and are all about kingdom building.
Yes.
And he knows what we need when we need it. And about 6 years ago, I was into something I didn't know nothing about. I was into pre-diabetes and didn't even know the craziness I was involved in. And I met this young man, Dr. Randall Maxey, and you know what? He was instrumental in helping me to get on top of it, because I had 800 blood sugar, and like you told me before, that's comatose. That's death right there automatically. Satan was trying to claim me and take me out. And so 6 years later, as a praise report, I've been able to reverse diabetes. And so I continue to do what I need to do, because he'll see me every once in a while. We'll talk on the phone because, we become good friends, and he'll say, how's everything going? Now, how's your health?
Yep.
So he ain't going to get, he's going to get that in there. He's going to sneak that in there. How's your health? How you doing? How you doing? Because he knows that sugar's still going to be a part of that daily activity, you know what I'm saying? So I just got to control it. So I keep it down to, I'm around 100, and I keep it around 100. Anything more than that, then I'm sure I can get a little lower, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to scare myself. But you know what I'm saying? I got to just continue. So this man's been a part of my life, and I want to share him with you today. Help me, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into our studio here at Gospel Jazz Connection, Dr. Randall Maxey. Dr. Maxey, thank you for joining us, my brother. Appreciate you taking the time from your busy schedule.
Well, thank you for being here. But before I say anything, this young sister's giving me chill bumps.
Uh-oh, look out.
But let me tell her something about that dark skin. It comes to me that what makes dark skin is something that makes you so very intelligent, because in your brain are these brain connections, and they're made with a chemical, and these chemicals are called catecholamines.
Yes.
So if you have an excess of brain hormones, catecholamines, when you metabolize them, it makes melanin, dark skin. Your dark skin is a testament to your spirituality and intelligence.
Oh,
Keep
wow.
it.
Yes,
it's beautiful.
sir. Oh, I appreciate that. Wow. I will wear that crown of glory forever.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you for that.
But I'm so happy to be here with you, Mr. Nice, and I've got a special friend of mine, Dr. Gregory. Dr. Gregory is the son of one of my best friends and former patients, Dick Gregory.
Absolutely.
And he's a doctor in his own right, and we've been talking.
Taking care of our community.
That's right.
So when we first talked about what we were going to address, Mr. Nice told me to talk about ovarian cancer. And I will.
Yes.
But before that, the leading cause of problems in our communities, especially with our mothers, our women, and our sisters, is cardiovascular disease. It's many times more prevalent than is cancer of any type. And the problem with it, not only do we have more of it than do the other groups, particularly the majority groups, but we die more frequently of it. But what is even more dramatic than that, and I want to be dramatic, is that the sense of awareness. We do not know, we are not aware of the risk that we were at. A recent survey shows that 70% of Caucasian women know that cardiovascular disease is a risk.
Right.
Now, I go to church on Sunday. I'm going to get in trouble when I go to church this Sunday. But our church women especially, they carry a little bit excess weight.
Yes.
They don't know that the food that we eat after
Yes.
church is going to kill them.
Right.
Absolutely.
And they carry those extra pounds. And they think it's just, oh, we're a little bit heavy, a little bit plump.
Right.
But in fact, it's deadly.
Okay.
Fat itself carries more than 50 types of hormones and enzymes that carry death, like tumor necrosis factor and those things
Right.
that will kill you. So there is no such thing as fat and jolly and at risk. So
Yes.
that cardiovascular disease needs to be looked at very seriously.
Yes.
And I was reading another article that showed that if you were to put in just 175 minutes a week
Wow.
in exercise, that will help you. Even if you only put in 75 minutes a week, not a day,
Start
you're doing
somewhere.
yourself some good. That's all it takes. It doesn't take a lot. And the other thing that is somewhat tragic, and I'm a little bit cynical, but a lot of our people here on the West Coast, we think that oftentimes the white man's ice is colder. So by that, we go running off to Beverly Hills and the Cedars, and we think that address makes the doctors there more intelligent and more well-versed. And there's some good doctors there. I take nothing from them.
Know what you mean.
Right.
But there are documented studies that show that there is little sensitivity and comprehension among non-culturally sensitive and aware doctors of what's going on with our ladies,
Yes.
and they don't treat them aggressively. They tend to think that cardiovascular disease and heart disease is men's disease and white folks' disease, and they'll see that they get the x-rays, they get the coronary artery catheterization, they get the treatment.
Yes.
They'll send our women home with the aspirin, come back tomorrow, and they die.
not okay.
I'm very concerned about that. They treat us with the wrong pharmaceuticals, the wrong drugs. And everybody, we may be all the same under God.
Right.
But in medicine, we are not the same enzymatically. We require different types of treatment.
Yes, sir.
So it is important that you go not only to doctors who are well qualified, but who are well versed in the problems that are sufficient unto you.
Gotcha.
If I'm going to treat Chinese people, I need to know something about the diseases that affect Chinese people.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
So therefore, when you see your doctor, black, white, or green, make sure you discuss with him or her, and make sure that they understand your
Right.
challenges and can address those. Those are just some of my hot buttons
That's
about
awesome.
that.
No, I got that.
important.
Yeah, I got
That's
you.
awesome.
No, I got you. Go ahead.
That's
Doc.
absolutely important. I want to take just a moment to
Please.
thank all of you. And Dr. Maxey, who was for a lifetime the front line of defense for my father. So Dick Gregory's been out there for a lifetime changing the world. Chronologically, he was 84. Biologically, he was a good 120. And a good portion of that was this man sitting right here to my right, Dr.
Wow.
Randall Maxey. So
Right.
it's an honor always to sit with you, Doc, and what a privilege to get his voice out to our community, because what he told you was, I don't know if it was inspired by Dick Gregory, but it was very Dick Gregory-like what he just said. And that's how those seeds get planted, and we just keep moving them forward so that the next generation knows that ultimately our health, we're responsible for.
Yes.
We have to
Yes.
make executive decisions. We have to know to hold our doctors accountable respectfully, but ask the right questions. And so I just want to co-sign what Dr. Maxey just said here and just say what a blessing it is to be here with you all and
Thank you.
provide some healing for our community. So
Yes.
thank you.
Yes.
And it's a blessing to have you here.
Yes, it
Doctor, what you were saying made a lot of sense, because if I put it in retrospect, if the ladies go to get their hair done, and you go to somebody that's in Beverly Hills that does great work, I don't care who they are, but they don't know how to deal with our sister's hair or the different demographical hair, then you're going to walk out there with what they put together for their people. That's not going to work for you. So that made very good sense. And I want our public now to be able to understand what you're saying and get it broke down, because they need to take away this thing you're saying, Doc. Because mine happens to be Cedars-Sinai, but that just happens to be the plan that my, medical came with, you know what I'm saying? And not saying my doctor there, I love him. The first time I walked in his office, Dr. Halfenstein, God bless him, I saw Captain Kirk was coming in the office. I said, "Oh, I'm home now. I mean, he's dealing with celebrities. Oh, if you're gonna deal with Bill," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm cool." You know what I'm saying? So, because everybody doesn't know how to do everybody and everything. So I'm like that when there. But when I had my time to ask people back in the day, I said, "Well, how's what used to be Killer King?" I mean, everybody used to say Killer King, and just like they used to talk about the city of Compton. And so you can't talk about what you don't know.
That's so true.
But then here I am. Let's use common sense. I'm not going to be a guinea pig to experiment and be the first to go. Because as you were saying before, they're sending a young lady home and they're getting sued behind it because they didn't understand how to deal with the sister, and they sent her home, and I think something really was crazy with her, and the lady died 2 days later. Yeah. I forgot what state it was, but I know it was major news, and it's because they didn't understand. You know what I'm saying? You give her a little something. So it's important that you really get with a doctor. Now, I'm not a doctor jumper. A lot of guys don't like to go to see a doctor. I'm one of them. All my friends, my doctors become my friends. My attorneys become my friend. Everybody professionally becomes my friend. Somebody joked to me one time, I don't know if it was you, he said, "Don't make them your friend. Don't make everybody your friend because mess around." Because I come in many times and I'll be working out in the gym and I'll buffed out and whatever. They're like, "Oh, you're looking good," or whatever. No, but look past that. See, Dr. Max has been able to look past that because he'll look at me and that don't mean nothing to him. He says, listen, how's your blood sugar? Yeah. Do I need to stick you today? I'm like, I hate to be stuck. So I'm like, "Oh, Doc, I'm good. Not knowing that he's looking at something beside what I'm seeing. Right. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And what others are seeing, because that's an internal part. Being a doctor, I can appreciate you seeing the internal part. You know what I'm saying? And everybody can't.
Yeah, it's called looking into things, not looking at things.
Right.
So that's what he does. Those
and it's good.
Are the eyes that he has, and it's rare that folks utilize that gift. And, and that's exactly what that is. And
we need more of that.
Yeah, we need it.
We do need more. Now, Doc, I appreciate you bringing in, you know what I'm saying, this other brilliant scientific mind. So give us some of the challenges that you, coming from a celebrity father and doing making your own path, give me some of the challenges that you've accosted in both personal and medical where you're at now. Talk about it.
That's interesting because I frequently say, no country for old legends. Our legends get old and we expect the same of them as when they were in their 50s or 60s.
That's so true.
If we went to see Michael Jordan with a basketball at 80, if you go in there expecting him to dunk it, shame on you. If he can just dribble that ball, that's impressive.
Right.
And so I watch my dad struggle with that because as an entertainer in that limelight, that is very healing and medicinal, especially when you make yourself accessible to the people, which my father always did. What folks didn't know, my dad had suffered 32 strokes, and they were internal strokes in his cerebrum, so they weren't the type of strokes that would have affected, he wouldn't have had muscle atrophy or paralysis, but it affected his anger very much so, like someone with Alzheimer's. So a lot of our millennials that knew Dick Gregory just as a gray-haired, silver-beard, angry guy on YouTube didn't understand that it was all of that sacrifice and decades of starving himself for the movement that led to his cerebral vascular disease. So we don't always connect the dots. We look at folks at any position in their career, and we just look at that entity, and we're all a totality of our years. And so sacrifice. The brother sacrificing, and as a result of that, I consider my dad a supernova. And growing up as the son of a supernova, and I managed my dad for the last 20 years, I was part of his healthcare team. It allowed me to treat Betty Shabazz, Coretta Scott King, just Dr. Dorothy Height, Cicely Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Stevie Wonder. So and at the end of the day, these folks are just that, folks. And so it's important for us as a community, as they get older, to reach out and to support them. A good example of that, and I don't want to be too long-winded here, was the Dodge Ram commercial that ran for Dr. King during the Super Bowl. And many folks in our community were upset by that, and that's our opinion. But when is the last time that many of us have supported the King estate or a King Foundation? We can't be so judgmental if we're not taking care of our community. So the pushback I give is multi-generational sacrifice from these folks requires and deserves multi-generational love. And we need to realize these folks age just like the rest of us. They have good days, bad days.
Right.
And it just was an honor to be toe-to-toe, shoulder-to-shoulder with my dad as his guardian, as that role reversal takes place. And it's a beautiful place for all children to do for their parents. And
Right.
first, you got to arm yourself. You don't have to be a physician,
Right.
but you have to arm yourself with intellect and intelligence. Falls, cardiovascular disease, all these things that Dr. Maxey's mentioned. Music,
Yeah.
the power of song and voice. And so this is just a beautiful platform to share with you all today. So thank you.
I do need to say something about Dick Gregory.
Please do.
I tell people, I've met people of all walks of life, and I've met some of the most intelligent people in the world. I have top 3. You want to know who they are?
What was that?
Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and Dick Gregory. The
Wow.
3 most intelligent men I've met in
Very
my
bright.
life.
Wow. Wow.
Very bright.
Dick
Wow.
was razor sharp,
Absolutely.
Right.
and he got sharper the longer it was after midnight.
Right. Right. Right.
Very true. That's
Right.
where you shine.
I love it.
You know what? But let's look at it now. I don't. I mean, as a comedian, to be at that level as a comedic person, you got to be sharp. Your game has got to be on it, and to see the metamorphosis that he's done.
Right.
Because when they said, I always know the comedian side of it, but the other activists, the other sides of him, a lot of people, a lot of us don't even know about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I was somewhere else and saw that he was into the health thing and this, and I'm like, wait a second, this is the same guy that back then, metamorphosis that we go through,
A lot of
and
hats.
being able
Right.
to bring people, our young people,
Right.
and some of us older guys,
Right.
to address what we have, our heroes. We were asking on the show, where are our heroes? Where are our leaders? We got the ones now that
Right.
we used to look at
Right.
that are there. Let something go down. They'll be there for the camera. If there's no camera showing up, they're not showing up.
Right.
And that's a shame, but there are unsung heroes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it's only so many hours that we can just bring back and say, unsung hero, who's going to be the first one here? But we basically now, before people start leaving this earth, get people like yourself, get people like you, get the others that are doing things now that we can put that time capsule together.
Right.
That's it. Look what they were part of paving the way for something else. They were looking out for our brothers and sisters. It ain't all about the money. With this young man here, I mean, he owns probably half of the world right now, Dr. Maxey, and getting ready to buy up the other half. You know what I'm saying? And so
He's worth a lot of service.
that's what I'm saying.
A lot
But
of
he
service, the
left a
trade-off.
lot.
Yeah.
He left a lot of service in his wake. There's a lot of gratification in his wake. But not everybody is giving you yours. When I used to work with, I started out working with Marla Gibbs. She had our show. She backed our show from day one and gave it the breath we needed. Said, use my name, and we just took it to another level and just let God use it. But she said, you know what? Everybody wants to call me in and give me these little plaques and trophies. She says, give me my money. Give me something I can enjoy while I'm here. They want to give me a rose. No, when I'm gone, you know, and I respected that. We've got to take advantage of what we have, and that's why when I called you up and said, can you show up on the show? Can you be a part of this team? Because you are a guy that's doing things now that God is leading you and guiding you in discernment that He's giving you. And so as you pass the legacy or go on, who's going to be there to understand it? So I've got to be at my part because God works through people.
Right.
This is my part to lay the blocks to where you can put your legacy on that candle's light.
It's really about honoring our black diamonds.
Yes.
You're
Very
one
true.
of our black diamonds. You're that rare find in the community that we need. Just like your father.
it's our
just like
responsibility to hold
you
them up.
running
Yes.
on with the legacy.
Absolutely.
We have to. We have to honor that. We have. And what I love about I don't know. That was your father, but I always called him Father Dick
Well,
Gregory.
he was Baba to everybody.
Yeah, he was, and I always said Father Dick Gregory. But he brought equity to his platform. That's what I always said about
For all
him.
of us.
Yes, for every last one of us, he really was a Christ-like. Yeshua in my book, y'all know I
Right.
speak straight Hebrew.
Right.
He was a straight. He just had that spirit about he used the medicine for the heart as a platform to open up conversation for us to talk about the real in our community.
Difficult conversations.
We
that
needed to
take
talk
place.
about that. We do need to unlearn how Massa taught us to eat.
Absolutely.
We was fierce. Mama had and Daddy, but Mama was fierce in making that pig slop that they gave us taste good.
Right.
That's that creativity in us. That's that goddess in us. But see, it was killing us, and they knew it would kill us. But we still make anything that you give us taste good.
Yeah.
You understand?
Thank God for our sisters.
Yes,
Woo,
Lord.
our mothers and our sisters.
We had to, but now it's time to unlearn that.
Yeah.
my father-in-law used to always tell me, baby, you got to get to that point where you empty yourself and start over. And I love that. Yes, it start from ground zero, but on another level. That's what I love about it. Don't stay complacent. Don't stay where we were in the 40s or the 50s.
Right.
We should be passing something on.
Yes.
We should be passing something on and taking what Doctor is saying to us today and saying, oh, that's what I wasn't applying. See, we can hear, but if we're not applying,
Amen.
we
Yes.
gotta apply.
Yes.
We
Yes.
have to really take the time to apply what is being learned.
That's right.
That is so important.
Very true.
You know, and we just, for us to heal, I think one of the main things we got to start with is the kitchen. Ooh.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
still
we
like
eat.
making my banana pudding
Oh.
and my chocolate chip cookies.
Talk to me.
And they said
Oh.
no. I was like, what do you mean no? I was like, what's a month?
Yeah. Please bring it in once a month. Oh.
Negotiating.
Yeah.
What's a month? I gotta have some peach cum.
Right.
Just one time.
That's right. That's
But
right.
yeah, it's
One
what
step
we
at a
do.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're right.
The,
'Cause
the
it's a
small
process.
changes, yes, the small
Absolutely.
changes show big results.
And not short-term diets, lifestyle
Lifestyle.
change.
Yeah. Changes.
Yes.
Yeah.
To
That's.
make a life slow and steady, but a lifestyle change.
Yes,
And
sir.
it's just imperative.
I'm loving
Yes,
it.
sir.
So, Dr. Max, once again, I took another part of your playbook, you know what I'm saying? I brought you down here to give the knowledge, but like I said, you let me know that you got other things going on. So I'm just gonna turn it back over to you and let you give us what you're gonna give us and just, you know what I'm saying, just let us ride with
We
you.
are open.
Ride with you.
Well, I'd like to say a couple of things. On the 23rd of this month at Greater Zion Church in Compton,
Okay.
straight out of Compton,
That's
right?
right.
Yes, it.
At the corner of Wilmington, 130th, I'm hosting a town hall on women's health.
Okay. Got you.
And we're going to talk about cardiovascular disease.
Yes.
We're going to talk about cancer. In particular, we're going to talk about ovarian cancer.
Right.
But we're also going to talk about diabetes. And a new thing that I'm going into is regenerative medicine. We're going to talk about the use of stem cells.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the use of platelet-rich plasma. So we can rebuild some of the damage done in your body with autologous cells and that. And we even can do something that sounds bad, but it's called the vampire facial. We can regenerate those skin cells
Wow.
that you have.
About it.
And for people with some of this fatigue and things, we can deal with those issues too.
Yes.
And it's the cutting edge of medicine.
Great.
And we're going to be talking about that and doing some demonstrations on that. In fact, my whole new practice, I retired 5 years ago. But I got, my daughter says this is not a word, I unretired.
Yeah.
It's a word
Right.
now.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm back on the block.
Good.
That's
And
great.
we're going to
We
be
need
doing
you.
regenerative medicine. We can fix some of this arthritis and some of these rotator
Thank you,
cuffs and
Yeah.
with these
Great
people who
technology.
have difficulty walking. You know, we can actually, it costs $100,000 plus to get an artificial knee
Yeah.
put in. We can do that same thing for under $10,000
Oh, that's what
with
I'm
an
talking about. Oh,
injection
Oh, yes.
and no surgery.
right.
Oh,
So
great.
we want to put
My
these
mother,
things in
she
our
needs that.
community
Yes.
and do that, because
Wow.
there's so many things that affect our people, and we have rumors, and we think that if you go get back surgery, it's going to paralyze you, but you don't have to have back surgery. We can do something without back surgery. So we need to get real knowledge. We want to have a knowledge center, and everything we do is spirit-filled.
Right. Right.
I'm very conscious that spirit and faith do heal.
Sir. Yes, it does.
And we mix a little bit of medicine with that.
That's right.
it.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
But it is important to do that. I've been very honored to be helpful to many people, and many people have been helpful to me. I've always in my life been placed, and I'm going to call it in the ancestral arms of certain people, one of which was Dick Gregory,
Right. Right. Uh huh.
and the other people who have led me and taught me all along. So I'm enjoying being here, and I hadn't had a chance to talk with you before, but you are inspirational. We got to talk about Africa.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I had a very interesting time. Some years ago, I took a delegation to Zimbabwe, and I was invited by the president of Zimbabwe, a guy named Robert Mugabe. His wife had kidney failure. But we went out into the bush and met some Nyangas, witch doctors. What some of these brothers can do.
I'm sure.
It's the real deal right there.
Yes, sir. Boy, they'll twist the herb on you. Walk away. Walk away, my sister. I was like, okay.
So it is interesting. It is very interesting. So I am excited. I'm happy. I'm rejuvenated.
Right.
And just to be between these two young people and have you in front of me, this has been gratifying to me. It's been a well-spent day.
My heart is full.
And your music is, I need your music
Yes,
with me.
sir.
I'll
I
take
got
some with
you.
me.
You know, but like I said, this is our house is your house, Doc.
Yes.
And I always say that when you come through, and so when I took a slight pause for the calls to do the television shows, whatever, and there was an opportunity to see how God works, because I kept thinking, because when we left and they came in and said, okay, the station's going through renovation, you know what I'm saying, people are buying it out and whatever, I'm like, but he told me his vision, God had given him a vision to keep it going. And so I'm like, okay, you know how that is. I mean, let me know. And so many times I've had to come through this corridor, right? And so I'm like, okay, I'll just kind of follow him and see, you know what I'm saying? Didn't get a chance. My intention is to follow him. I didn't get a chance. One day Spirit said, pull yourself over. I want to keep going, but the brakes were like, I'm pulling over. I came in and saw what he did. I said, okay, this is what you got cracking. Yes. I said, they changed my old stuff from in here,
yes.
And I said, well, I got this learning curve, but I said, I want to come back in and do this. And that's when the timing was right, everything's right, and we're here. And so the first thing I did was get my team together. Called Makita. She was doing at the time you were working with the other newest group you were doing now, Rolls Royce. And I said, look here, you just got to just do what you do and work around that and come in here. You know what I'm saying? Called Monica, who works for, you know what I'm saying, Uncle Sam, in other words, with Northrop, defense contractor over there. She's a shot caller, big wig over there. I said, look, you just got to come off the work and come down here, because this is what we got going on. But then I called Dr. Max. I said, look here, now we need to bring this whole community back together. This is the community we used to be back in the day before we just jammed. It was us. And so here we are. Everything in God's timing.
Yes.
So I appreciate you, Dr. Maxey. Like I said, our house is your house, and we're definitely going to give you the red carpet. Anytime you want to come through, you want to get on a call and be a part, because I know you stay busy. Even if on Fridays you give us a quick phone call in and talk about what's on your heart, what's on God lays on your heart. I would like that one. Go ahead,
Can we get
Makita.
that one more time?
Yeah.
It's, the church on the 23rd of June.
It's Greater Zion Greater Zion Church Family.
Okay.
At 2400 North Wilmington Avenue on the corner of 130th.
Okay.
The pastor is Michael Fisher.
Okay. Shout out.
And from 9 to 2, we're going to have a town hall meeting on the health care of women. And we're going to have various speakers, including myself. We're going to have a dietitian there. We're going to have a cancer surgeon there. And it's going to be a nice day, and it's going to end up with some Zumba.
Yay! Okay. Yes!
And
I'm coming ready.
There's going to be food, but we want to put out some information to stop some of this death and destruction.
Profoundly important.
I was, that's why I ran back into my beautiful Miss M and D. I was asked to be a part of a board for Shirley Ralph. And she's speaking on cancer and different things in our community. And they asked me to speak on thyroidism, because I was totally oblivious to this disease issue. I never knew anything about thyroidism. I didn't know that it affects your pituitary gland, your metabolism. I mean,
all interwoven.
I couldn't believe everything that I was dealing with. And I didn't know that. Well, what I was told was that having a child at 40 activated. They said that hormonal imbalance probably kicked in. That's what they said, doctor. I just said that's 25. What they said. Thank you. I am forever 25.
Wow.
Yeah.
Regenerative medicine. There it is.
I had one of the vampire facials. But they said that the hormonal imbalance apparently kicked it in. Because I really was off after having my daughter. You know what I mean? That really was. I still came down though. That's what I didn't understand. I dropped the weight. I've always been able. I have a baby. Boom! I'm back on the road. You know that. Over 20 years, you've known that. So for me to just one day wake up and there was 45 pounds, and I was like, hey.
Right.
I didn't change.
Right.
I have not had pork in 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Red meat maybe once a year.
Okay.
For the last 15. You know, I've been very scarce on red meat. So I've been pretty much a chicken and a fish eater. So I didn't understand, you know, why this happened. And it was just really crazy. But it was like hormones, the stress that I was under. I didn't know that the
All
stress that
factors.
I was under it played a very big part. So these are the things that I'm coming. I'm writing this down
and you
because
telling your story too. I mean, that's
Yes.
just. I mean, people need to hear it.
Yes.
People need to hear it.
So here's another thing I learned at the feet of the Father, the person you call the Father. Stress is a form of fear,
yes, it is.
right? And what is fear? Fear is a lack of faith.
Yes,
And God and fear cannot be in the same
Same
place
space.
at
Right.
the same
light
time.
and
That's right.
darkness.
That's right.
So
Absolutely.
that stress can definitely do all of those things.
It did. It did. Yeah, at that time, I think I shared with you earlier, I was, my husband had just been diagnosed with cancer. Now, I just had a baby. And then my husband's diagnosed with cancer. So I'm freaking out. So you're
Devastated.
right. I was afraid. I was praying, but even my prayers were fearful
Hmm.
because he had this rare cancer, and he had a rare skin cancer, and tumors ended up all in his head. It was just the worst thing. It was the worst thing to watch. How someone could leave this earth like that. It was horrible. And so in my brain, I'm going, how am I going to make it? You know what I mean? But as always, you know, the Most High has us, and I'm very. My faith kicked in. I got to that place where I got
As it
past
does.
the fear, and my faith kicked back in. Because, you know, the Most High would tell me, you know better. You talking crazy again? Okay, I'm gonna wait for you. I'm gonna give you 15 minutes of crazy, but then you come around. You already know. You know better. You know. So, but I was where you're saying. I was very fearful. I was very fearful at that.
That was difficult. That was difficult.
See, part of it is the way that we're wired to think.
Yes.
And we think about death in a finite way.
Right. And it's not.
I tend to see death as more of a doorway to a continuum.
Yes.
You
Absolutely.
know, and when you put it in that, there's not the hype. You know, so everybody wants to go to heaven, nobody wants to die.
That's it.
But
Right.
it's only that we're not used to dealing with the unknown
Yes.
or the infinite.
Yes.
You know, so my daughter taught me to say, what does the infinite mean? It really means the singularity,
Yes.
where things go. But if we think about the infiniteness
Yes.
and power of God, you ain't got to worry.
You got it.
You got to have faith.
Yes.
Just fall back, and that's it. That means that you can enjoy what you have now.
Yes. I was able to overcome. Thank the Most High. I was able to overcome.
True blessing.
Yeah. I was able to find that place.
Mm-hmm.
What you're saying, you have to find that place. Because life will hit you with a curveball, a ball that I mean, I'm used to going through. I got some cashes in me. I know how to. I can throw them up and shuck, jive, bob and weave. I know how to do that. You know, I know how to go through that a base and abound life. I've been there, but that was just overwhelming. I was just like, whoa! All of a sudden, I thought I was done having babies. My boys was teenagers. I was
Right.
like, yes, I'm good. And then you're pregnant. Oh, what? You was a lie? I told 3 doctors that they're a lie. I literally was like, I was on tour in Japan, remember? And I was like, you're lying. I was like, there's no way. It's not happening. And I came home, went to the doctor. You're pregnant. No, I'm not. What are you talking about? And so it was that denial, too, that got me in trouble. But yeah, but we made it through. Praise the Most High.
And
We
that's
made
what
it
we
through.
do. It's all about following the two. Now, Doc, one more time, give me that phone. She said the date. The date. Let's make
The
that clear,
date
because I'm.
is June the 23rd, and it was at Greater Zion Church Family,
Okay.
2400 North Wilmington Avenue in Compton, California.
Right.
The pastor is Michael J. Fisher. And I have to brag on him. He's 38 years old, and he'll walk on top of the benches.
Yep.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
And
Yeah.
and we're having the town meeting on women's health.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to be doing it. Now, on my new office on the 26th of
Right.
June, we're having a seminar on diabetes.
Okay.
And we're having an education course, and I'm at 447 North Prairie, brand new office. And we're opening that day to the public to deal with diabetic teaching to avoid those problems with that. Because diabetes is a disease in and of it to itself
Yes, it is.
Right.
that we have to get control of. But I sure appreciate you having
Well, I
me.
appreciate you having me
Absolutely.
to have you. But look here, this is what I'm going to do. I'm looking at my calendar, 23rd. We're going to talk offline because I'm going to see if I can bring the camera crew down and get some footage that I can utilize.
That'd be
You
amazing.
know what I'm saying? Because we're going to continue to do some stuff with you. And so every time you get some footage, we can, because there's a lot of people that are in the shut-in stage and they don't have a chance to get out there. And so we'll be able, nothing like being able to bring it to them and just let them see. So, I mean, you're bringing so much enlightenment to this community, to us, man, personally, and it's a good thing to be able to host that. So, once again, I need to get your contact information. So give them again your contact information for those that are listening and say, hey, I want to catch up with the brother. How can they catch up with you?
I have one more special request.
Please.
Well, my phone number is 310-680-1810.
Y'all get a pen now, because if you say it one more time, you ain't got no pen, or we call them but say you can't catch it. Okay, go ahead.
310-680-1810.
Okay, y'all heard that? Okay, lock it in. Go
Okay,
ahead.
my special request is,
Yes, sir.
Can you bring Michaela?
You know what? I know if she's not on tour, somebody's grabbing her. Every time I turn around, look, every time I turn around, somebody trying to snatch her up. Okay, she's in somebody's studio doing somebody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I was too bashful to ask her directly. I had to.
You know what?
Channel it.
You know, but that's what you did. You see, you put it out there. There's no excuse. You put it out there. You know, because this lady here is unselfish. I many times she'll do stuff, and like I said, you would think as much as she does and helps people, you think, man, she's the richest woman out there. And a lot of times she'll sacrifice and give of herself. And we were talking the other day, and I'm like, okay, she said, do you remember this song? I was on that joint. I was singing the backgrounds. I'm like, wait a second, we know the voice, but we didn't. I'm like, oh, you were doing this, and she's on everybody's. And I'm like, come on now. And so now doing her own stuff, I'm like, yeah, make sure you spend time on doing your own stuff too. You know what I'm saying?
Now, we're talking about healing.
Uh-huh.
If you listen to her voice, she
Right.
has a healing
That's a good thing,
Voice.
ain't it? It's a good thing.
No question.
healing voice.
I think we're starting a tour here.
Yeah.
I think we, Doc, I put it out there. I think we got a tour coming
Healing
on.
tour.
I feel a tour coming on. You know what I'm saying?
Remember, that's what we talked
Yeah.
about.
Yes,
The
yes.
conferences. Did we just
Yeah,
say
the
that?
conferences. Yeah.
We just talked
Yeah.
about it last week.
Yes, he got us good. We're doing. He's put me in line with some angels investors that want to sit back and they're listening to what I'm saying, and I'm bringing in my people so that when I sit in front of them, I can say, watch this, listen to this. Do you hear what I'm hearing? And if they're hearing what I'm hearing, I'm like, this is what we need to move forward, because they need to know what our community is about.
Yes.
They can't stay in Beverly Hills where they own properties. They can't stay out there Laguna Niguel where they own this and that, and then sit back and say, well, I feel for you, I empathize, I understand what you. No, you don't. You don't understand it because you're not here. You're not seeing our people die. You're not reading our obituaries.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're not seeing our young kids disrespecting each other in the street. Right. You're not seeing the communities that getting drive-bys or people hitting them and keeping on going and stuff. We don't have an understanding. Suicide is on the biggest they've ever had. Yeah. And I'm like, it's starting to hit us. Yeah. When did it start hitting our community so hard? Yeah. You know, that was their disease.
Right.
You know, like the ladies talked the last time about the bulimic and the other thing. That never was happening in our community, and now it's happening. Doc, we need what you're talking about. We need you OGs that are sitting there that said, okay, it's not about giving me your money at the front desk when you come to see me. It's about, let me go out into my communities and see how I can help you in your community and help this nation to heal one community at a time. Mm-hmm. But let's look after ours, because they're looking after theirs.
Yeah.
Somebody said the other day, they said, when we sit around and talk about what them folks are doing and they're talking about it, he said, let me tell you something. We're not talking about y'all. We don't even study or think about y'all. We just talking about what we're doing in our people. Right. Everything else falls in line, because that's what we do. We're setting a precedent and everything else falls down. So when are we going to start talking about our people?
Right.
And I don't mean talking about them negative, but pushing positivity and sending the right people to the right veins. Yes. And there it is. We've got a gym here. We've got another youngster that's here that was under the legacy tent training and can carry it on. That's what I'm saying. We're here.
That's it.
And so we've got to let the world know we're here to stay.
Yes, we
When his
are.
brother
Anywhere.
told me what he was going to do with this station, and I came back after all that time, you know what I'm saying? And he's here
Yes.
doing what he said he's going to do
Yes.
on a digital platform, because I said, oh, how are we going to do without
Shout out
radio
to
stations,
Pastor
whatever?
T.
Hey, let me tell you something. Digital platforms where everybody's at. I can get on my cell phone. I can
Yes.
get on my laptop.
Anywhere
I can
in
get
the world.
anywhere.
Yes.
So that's where we're at right now. And he got that call, and he made it available for us. And so we're here. And so you had that call. You've been beckoning and hearing that call, and you've been appealing to that call
Yes.
that God's given you for helping our nation to heal.
Yeah.
And so we're going to support you in any way we can. You know what I'm saying? We may not always have pockets full of money, but whatever it takes that I can help you with, man, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Grab a camera, and I'll be at you in a minute.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Because that's how we do, so
I'll
you can
sing
spread
a
the
note for
word.
you before you go on and speak.
You know?
I'll sing a note for you
Okay.
before you
There
go
it
on
is.
and speak.
There it is.
Yeah.
I'll be your
There it is.
psalmist.
There it is.
Hey, have a healing service and a concert right there. You feeling? You feeling me? Yeah. And she know people. They feel the church, people coming down there because they know her, that follow her. Religious. So I'm just saying, see, God is bringing his people
Birth
together.
from today.
Yeah, and see that's
it
what
really is.
see that's what happens in our community when God allows us
Right.
to run into people
Yeah.
that are working through His will
Right. But
to
you know,
kingdom
we
build.
have to answer the call.
Yes, we do.
There's a trumpet blowing right now
Oh.
for us. There's a trumpet because the remnant is being called,
Mm.
and it's not going to be a big number. It's going to be a small number of us that is going to impact our community,
Yes.
and then it's going to go out.
Yes.
But right now, we have to heal our household.
Absolutely.
We got to kill Willie Lynch family. Completely murder, annihilate
Right.
the spirit of Willie Lynch. We got to call a thing a thing.
Yes.
I'm so down with calling a thing a thing. We can't do that. Let's call it something else
Honesty.
and pretend that it'll sweep it under the rug. We can't do that anymore. We're in a time where our kids is looking at us like, yeah, all that stuff y'all talking about, please. That's why they're doing their own thing because we dropped the ball somewhere. And there's some of us that got to pick it up and let them know we got you. When I address my men, you are kings to me. Without you, there's no me. I'm not finna run around. I don't need no brother.
Right.
I can't do the chicken neck.
Balance.
No.
Right.
Because for real, you're first. Somebody come up in here right now with a gun. I'm jumping behind all these strong muscles. I'm getting behind the muscles.
Right.
Get him, boo. Get him.
You gonna stand? You gonna stand the
Is that
place?
the
I got you.
truth?
Yes.
I'ma stay in
Yes.
my place.
Yes. I got you.
I love being a woman.
Yeah.
Play with me. I love being a woman.
Right.
I mean, it's okay to be strong.
Right.
My sisters, it's okay. But you got to know,
Yeah.
a brother don't want no chick standing nose to nose with him. Really.
Right.
I ain't got your chest frame. I
Right.
ain't got your shoulders.
Right.
You know what I mean? To be a woman, it's okay.
Right.
I love being protected. We're strong because we have had to be.
Right. Got you.
Okay, I mean, and we got to call a thing a thing. A lot of our men were not there. A lot, but there's a story. There's a story. We can't just say, "Well, he just walked out." Well, you got to understand. There's something that
of it.
took place to bring our men to the place where they could just walk away and leave.
Right.
So, and then we got to get back to the place where now, if he wasn't there, if we say we love you, we got to throw that into the sea of forgetfulness and let's start at ground zero.
Right,
on
right.
another level.
There it
Yeah.
is.
We
There
got
it
to.
is.
I'm
Yeah.
not going to hold you accountable for what happened 30 years ago. Let's talk about today because all of us done something that we need forgiveness
That's right.
for.
That's right.
And so it starts with me looking at my kings and saying, I love you and I need you. No matter what, we need you. You are valued. You are everything. Next to God, you are everything. And you need to know that.
Right.
And our sisters, we gotta understand it's okay. That word submit don't bother me. What? Get in line, sister. Get in line. That's all that word mean in Hebrew. Get in line. It don't mean you less than. It mean he's stronger. I'm glad he's stronger. Protect me, God,
Right.
dog. And I love being a
Yeah.
so.
And you know what? And having the sisters like that love being a woman and understand, because there was a time when they used to emasculate us. They keep us in jail, want to kill us because we threatened them. But as long as we know who we serve and who we are through who we serve, then we got to appreciate the women that keep us strong.
That's it.
Because the mothers kept us to where we are today. They didn't let us go out there and play in the street in front of cars. They didn't let us go run up and down the street like them women do down there when they get the kidnapping and then wonder why your kid is kidnapped and you can't find him on the back of a milk carton. You know what I'm saying? We didn't do that. You had people up and down the street looking out for each other. You knew that if the sun went down or the lights went out, you had to be back in the house. They took care of us and watched us. And then they put this in us, what we had to do. We have lost it because we have allowed these men to come in, and white guys to come in and tell us what we can and cannot do. Put us in our place, so to speak. But you know what? How can you put us in a place when you didn't build a place? It's God's place. And so I'm taking my right for the throne and the passage in kingdom building. And right now, as I say that, God is putting me around with brothers that are like that. That said, look, I'm right there where you at, brother. Let's start turning back to these young men and the man. And then depending on these sisters, that, you know, it's 3 boys before she got the girl. 3 boys. You know how it is for a young lady to carry 3 boys. And I've watched them from birth up, hers with boys and whatever. So I know what it, and daughters too. So I know what it's like, you know what I'm saying, for these young ladies that take it upon their shoulders to run the household. Now, as men, we got to step back and say, you know what? It's time for us to show up and show out. We've got to support these sisters so that they can continue to support us, love them, and they'll love us back. And I can appreciate it. And so we've got to also make sure that they stay whole, make sure that they stay well, make sure that they stay on the front line to where they can do what they do so we can do what we do. But it's like the Bonnie and Clyde thing. It's that team that can take emotion.
It's got to be. It doesn't work uneven, but that was the systematic plan. They would give us some money to take care of the kids as long as y'all stayed out the house. You feel me? And that was the plan. It was strategically plotted. So now it's time for us to strategically plot how to heal. And it's not going to take a whole lot. All it is you be who you were chosen and elected to be. I be who I'm chosen and elected to be. If you see what you see, I see what I see, we won't miss a damn thing, family. We won't miss nothing.
That's real talk. That's real talk.
I always say men are like God. You see the beginning and the end. Women, we are peripheral. We see everything all the way around. We see what's happening in between. So if you see what you see, I see what I see, we're going to be all right. We never miss nothing.
Go ahead, Doc.
That's why my wife got eyes back her.
She got to watch it.
We got peripheral vision. We see it all. You'd be like, what? How did you see that? Hey. That's when the kids like, Mom, how did you know? Hey, dude.
Got to watch you coming and going. Got to watch you coming and going. And that's what it is. And folks out there listening to me, all you listening to me, I'm not bashing. I'm not bashing the guy, the man. I'm not coming on one of those things. I'm just saying that he did what he did. And his ancestors did what they did. And our ancestors did what they did to push back. Martin Luther King said, okay, I'm tired of it. Let me start doing another way of looking at it as God showed me. And then the Rosa Parks and the other women that supported and did their thing. So we're taking our thrones back. And we're saying here, so we're not trying to sit there and rerun the wheel or reinvent the wheel. We're saying, look, God gave us supportive sisters that are strong like this one here that's going to back our place. She said, you be a man, I'm going to follow you. But they're not going to follow somebody who doesn't stand up and be a man. So we got to teach these young boys how to be men. You know what I'm saying? And not going around. There's a lot of grown folks that are still young boys. They got to get it right. And so as long as
teach the women that you are a birther.
And
you can speak life or death into your king or your children. I can elevate you and make you fly. That's my power. I can bring the best out of you. I can bring the God out of you by the words I speak and how I handle my hands. And then I can also bring you down. I can speak to you and break your spirit, especially if you love me. So when I know my power, women, it's our job to utilize it to be a builder and an edifier, not a demiser and a killer.
That's what I'm talking about.
So we got to know our place and work it.
That's what I'm talking.
Give them life.
Now, Doc, we got the last couple of seconds, so could you, you guys kind of bring us home. Let's start with you, Mr. Griffey, first, and then bring it to Max.
I just want to say what an absolute blessing. I mean, what an absolute blessing. I want to thank you all for having us here. Dr. Maxie, I didn't know this is what we were doing. But that's how the Spirit works. That's how the Spirit. He said, we're going to take a ride. I said, let's go. So I'm prepared for whatever, always, and just love and appreciate you all and keep doing what you're doing. God bless you.
Thank you. We'll look forward to having you back here, brother. Yes, sir.
Well, I have to admit, I had a busy day and busy evening planned, but I have been totally re-inspired.
There you go.
You talked about people poured into you. This has been a day I got fed, earlier by Dr. Gregory, now by you and by Brother Nice. This has just been, I haven't had much to say. I just wanted to listen.
Right.
So glad
And so this is what we do each and every week, guys, on the Gospel Jazz Connection, and we call this Music and Conversation. And Dr. Maxey, we put the red carpet out. Anytime you want to come through, you come through. And Dr. Griffith, anytime you want to come, let's make it happen. They can reach us also. You can look at our shows on 4 Point Media LLC. That's FOURPOINTMEDIA LLC. And you can see Makita doing her shows inside the studio, the television shop part of it, and then also we have the radio part of it. And we're going to make this world a better place, one person at a time. This is our community. We're taking it back. This is D Nice, from Miss M, from Makita, from Dr. Maxey, and from Dr. Griffith. We're saying have a blessed day. See you next time.
Really?
Put God first and everything else will follow. I guarantee it. Until next time.